It's great to see all of you here this morning, and it's fabulous to be back in Tokyo once again. I always feel such a warm welcome. I'm very honored to be among so many friends of Penn's great Wharton School who appreciate the power of universities like Penn to transform people's lives and to advance society. Universities like Penn and universities like the University of Tokyo and Keio University have endured for hundreds of years because of our unique power to integrate the broadest range of expert knowledge and equip our graduates to creatively apply that knowledge to the most complex problems of all time and of our time. The aim of great universities is, in fact, in my mind, to create and apply knowledge to maximize social impact. To create and apply knowledge to maximize social impact. Now, that's a very bold and a very important goal. And the theme of my talk today is there's never been a time in world history where that goal has been more important. Indeed, there's never been a time where that goal has been as important as it is today. And yet, many people, many prominent people in my country, in the United States, question today whether the investment in higher education is indeed worthwhile. So what I would like to address to you today is an answer, a short answer to that challenge. Just this month, former United States Secretary of Education, William Bennett, questioned how many of the 3,500 colleges and universities in the United States are worth the investment. You all being leaders in the business world, just as I am a leader of a university that has a multi-billion-dollar budget, have to take that challenge seriously, and we ought to know what our response is to that challenge. Bennett concluded that just 150 of those 3,500 universities, only 4%, are worthwhile. Now, I was very pleased, of course, that in the top 10 of all the worthwhile universities, he put the University of Pennsylvania. But just so we don't think, that flattery will get you everywhere, I'm going to be somewhat critical of Bennett's view that all the others, only 4%, are worthwhile. Because Bennett's premise, like that of other critics before him, is that higher education is essentially job training, measurable in post-graduation salaries. Now, the paradox here, it is a deep paradox, is that almost all of the universities that educate the most workforce-ready graduates, almost all of the universities that educate the graduates who, in fact, earn the most after they graduate, encourage our students not to focus narrowly on a single pre-professional program. We believe, and we believe this deeply, and as I will demonstrate to you this morning, we have the evidence to back it up, that a professional education needs to be enhanced, enriched, and empowered through the deep study of what we call the liberal arts and sciences, or the liberal arts for short. This is a great country to speak about this because anybody who appreciates Tokyo and Japan appreciates the culture of this great society. We focus on integrating knowledge across the professional disciplines and the liberal arts. And that is key to our success as a university. It is what makes me so proud to be the president of a university that has the greatest business school in the world and also has a great school of arts and sciences, a great medical school, a great law school, and 8 other schools, all of which are together on one campus and enable our students to roam freely in their learning, and our faculty collaborate in their research across these schools. Penn is the original pioneer of this philosophy and practice of combining liberal arts with professional education. Our founder, Benjamin Franklin, laid out the vision for his new university more than 250 years ago. And he wrote that as to their studies, it would be well if they could be taught everything that is useful and everything that is ornamental. Everything that is useful and everything that is ornamental. Now, we can't teach everything, but we can teach what is most useful and what is most ornamental, by which he meant the basic theory and culture, history and art of civilizations. By integrating liberal arts and professional education for the sake of maximizing social impact, Penn today puts Ben Franklin's philosophy into practice. This empowers our graduates to do well by doing good. And that is part of the mantra of the Wharton School: do well by doing good. This fuels social progress. This also motivates my service on 2 national commissions in the United States. As chair of President Obama's Bioethics Commission, I lead an expert group of scientists, of doctors, of lawyers, and philosophers to help advance medicine, science, and technology in socially and ethically responsible ways. As a member of the National Commission on the Humanities and Social Sciences, I also have the privilege of collaborating with a civically oriented group of CEOs, of performing artists, of museum directors, and a wide range of other prominent people at the request of a bipartisan group of Congress. There isn't much that the US Congress can do these days in a bipartisan way, but they could agree that it is important to strengthen the essential role of the liberal arts and sciences in American society. My service on these boards reflects not only my philosophy, but Penn's philosophy, that integrating knowledge across the liberal arts and professions furthers societal and world progress. So consider any major problem in the world today, whether it be climate change, sustainable economic development, or diabetes and heart disease. Ask how any one of those problems can be most effectively addressed. And in every case, an answer requires understanding the interactive causes and effects of a host of scientific, social scientific, and humanistic facts and factors. You cannot address the question of delivering health care in this country or the United States or anywhere around the world without knowing the economics of it and the business of it. It is not just about medicine. You cannot address climate control, as important as it is, by knowing just the science of it. You also have to know the politics and the economics of incentivizing clean energy. So my service on these kinds of boards is a reflection of the power of higher education to make a difference in society. Consider the demands of an excellent business education. Penn's Huntsman program at the undergraduate level celebrated its 15th anniversary this year. And it's exemplary. It's a 4-year interdisciplinary course of study that integrates business education, advanced language training, and a liberal arts education. Huntsman students earn 2 degrees. They earn a Bachelor of Arts in International Studies from our School of Arts and Sciences, and they earn a Bachelor of Science in Economics from our Wharton School. Huntsman students specialize in an area of the world in which their target language is spoken, Japanese, for example, and then they graduate with a nuanced understanding of the political, economic, and cultural complexities of an important part of our interconnected world. At the graduate level, Penn's Lauder Institute is also exemplary. The Lauder Institute boasts a 30-year tradition of preparing future business leaders with a Wharton MBA that combines international management education with a deep understanding of global leadership studies, advanced language, and cross-cultural proficiencies. And now every Wharton student has this kind of cross-cultural, cross-disciplinary study. These programs are just the tip of the iceberg of what illustrates that Penn's Wharton School understands that a business degree needs to be earned with an understanding of history, language, and culture. And it's in this context that I want to return to former Education Secretary William Bennett's list of just 150 American universities that he considers worth the cost. Now, however flattering it may be that Penn made the top 10 of Secretary Bennett's worth it list, should he have disqualified 96% of American colleges and universities? It's just not supported by the best evidence. And I just use this as illustrative of a larger problem of not understanding how important higher education is in today's world. The best Brookings Institute study shows that the return on an average American college education over a lifetime is $1.2 million higher than the average return for a high school education. The unemployment rate of college graduates is less than half that of those who have just a high school education. And even in the depths of the Great Recession of 2008, the unemployment rate among college graduates in the United States never rose above 5.1%. So some American critics like Bennett point with alarm to the fact that the average student loan balance for a 25-year-old in the United States is about $20,000. Now, as a consequence of the generosity of Penn donors, the University of Pennsylvania at the undergraduate level was able to go all grant, no loan for all of our students on financial aid. So this isn't a problem for Penn undergraduates, but not every university can be as fortunate as the University of Pennsylvania. And the question is, should we be discouraging students from taking out loans so that they can afford a college education? Now, a $20,000 average loan is about what the average loan is. It's a little less, actually, than the average loan that an American takes out to buy a car. And yet, the critics fail to distinguish something that every Wharton graduate knows, the difference between an investment and an expense. The moment, and with all due respect to those of you in the automotive industry, I think you will agree with me, the moment you take the average car off, you drive it out of the lot, it begins to depreciate. Your $20,000 expense begins to depreciate. And yet, the moment you start using your college degree, your $20,000 investment begins to appreciate. And it appreciates in the United States to the tune of a $1.2 million added increment over a high school degree. That means, as a study carefully showed, that the average annual rate of return on a college investment has been, in the United States, has been an impressive 15.2% a year over the last 50 years. Now, as good as an investor as you may have been over the last 50 years, the average stock market returns and the average bond market returns pale in comparison to a 15.2% annual return, not to mention investment in gold or housing. Viewed solely as an economic investment, higher education is more essential than ever. And it's important to know those facts. Many people's lives and livelihoods and the quality of their life will depend on forward-looking thinking that appreciates that fact. That means that effective access to a university education is more important than ever before in human history, especially for young people from middle-income and low-income families. The more we increase access, the more we contribute to economic and life opportunity, not only for those talented individuals, but also for society as a whole. Society depends more than ever before on having talented, creative, highly educated people who fuel economic and social progress. And that's why Penn has made strengthening financial aid for our students at all levels one of our highest priorities, and we're committed to doing even more. We have recently grown aid for international students in the past 10 years, and I plan on making that a continuing high priority for the University of Pennsylvania. One initiative is our Penn World Scholars program. Penn World Scholars bring the most talented students from around the world to Penn on full, all-grant, no-loan financial aid. They are amazing students, and they're all committed to going back to their societies and being leaders of it. They come from every continent, and they are incredibly talented, hardworking, and really will be the global citizens of the future. We've also dramatically increased the number of international students at Penn. So I have a quiz for you. Nobody at Penn is allowed to answer this, only the alumni here. Can anyone guess the percentage of international students in Penn's freshman class of 1980? That's only about 30 years ago. What percentage of Penn's freshman class in 1980 were international students? Just call it out. 5, 10, 2, 3. Okay. The answer, 1%. 17 students. Today's freshman class at Penn is 12% international, with over 80 countries represented. That means about 1 out of every 8 students at Penn, in Penn's undergraduate student body is international, and the largest representation is from Asia. Wharton's undergraduate classes each year average between 18 and 20% international, and the Wharton MBA class of 2014 was 37% international. That is a revolutionary change at Penn, and it is a change that is entirely to the better, and it comes with the full support at every level at Penn, from our Board of Trustees to our faculty to our students. This has made Penn education better, and it's made Penn a more preeminent global institution. And that, I think, is one of the reasons why when we get ranked 10 years ago among all global universities, among all universities in the world, we were ranked about 25 10 years ago. This year, we were ranked number 12 ahead of Stanford University, and we're very proud of that standing, even though we take these rankings with a grain of salt. We like to be ranked high, though. And just last year, we took the boldest step yet to make a Penn education more accessible across the globe while also enriching the educational experience of our students on campus. Last year, Penn became a pioneer in a bold experiment which has been called MOOCs. Now, MOOCs stand for Massive Open Online Courses. And we became one of the founding members, along with Stanford, Princeton, and the University of Michigan, of a company called Coursera. Last year, 2012, was called by many publications the year of the MOOCs, and not a week goes by when there isn't a prominent article, whether in the Wall Street Journal or The Economist or any number of other prominent publications that feature stories about online education and their enormous potential to deliver high-quality instruction to millions of students the world over. Online courses are ideal for highly motivated students who have the hunger to learn but lack the access to a traditional campus-based university education. Faculty members at Penn are not only creating online courses or MOOCs, they are also, and this is the key takeaway message about online education, our faculty are also integrating online materials into their campus-based classes. And that's because online education, while we don't know, I have no crystal ball and I can't tell you what the distant future will be on this. What I can tell you is that online education, A, is no substitute for in-class interaction, face-to-face interaction, and B, it has the potential to improve in-class interactions by putting more of the basic materials online, and students can use those materials like a textbook, and then they come into class and have a richer, more interactive experience. And those same online courses, which are not a substitute, but are something, which is a lot better than nothing, are available free to students all around the world. 60% of the students enrolled in Penn's online courses come from outside of the United States, and the majority of those are in Asia. Penn's courses, 52 courses, either already given or now mounted in just a year's time, are the largest group of courses and the largest range of courses of any major university in these online consortia. And the promise of this for our on-campus experience is what's called blended learning. Parts of an advanced calculus course, for example, which are being given now at Penn on our campus, are taught online for students to learn outside of class, and that frees up regular classroom time for more face-to-face discussion, in-depth analysis, and creative problem solving with the professor. By September, many of the most popular courses that are available on Coursera are being translated into multiple languages, including Japanese. The courses we're giving range from affordable healthcare and advanced calculus to Wharton courses, operations management, and gamification, applying game theory to real-world issues, to Greek and Roman mythology and American poetry. So you can see how this online bold experiment is pushing out into the world the Penn, the Benjamin Franklin, the Wharton philosophy of being able to combine learning across disciplines in order to make a difference in society. More than 1 million students in 1 year have signed up for Penn online courses. That's 50 times the total student enrollment on Penn's campus. So you can begin to grasp the opportunities for expanding Penn's educational reach that this new technology provides. Many of Penn's most eminent faculty members are developing online courses that increase access to educational opportunity for motivated and talented students anywhere in the world. Now, it's important to emphasize the word motivated. We have had the ability to put course content on the internet for more than a decade. And many schools have tried doing this in the past. What is different today is that we now have the technological tools that allow professors and their assistants to interact with students on the web, to guide, to help direct, and to help motivate their studies. Great teachers motivate great students and great achievement. Many great Penn professors view MOOCs as an innovative technology that enables them to motivate students to a new level of interactive online participation. But make no mistake, MOOCs are not a substitute for highly interactive, campus-based, face-to-face learning, but they do hold out the potential for both filling some skills gaps and narrowing some opportunity gaps that grow out of economic disparities and remote geographic locations. We have students that have enrolled in Penn's MOOCs from the most remote regions of the world, which are a lot harder to get to than the major cities of the world, like Tokyo. And that is happening in real time, and we are very proud of the fact that universities, which have long renowned for being very slow to change, we are actually involved in a major sea change in higher education. While it's too early to tell precisely where MOOCs will lead us, two things are very clear. One, MOOCs have enormous potential, and two, this potential has yet to be fully realized. 2 months ago, New York Times columnist Thomas Friedman came to Penn to discuss with me how MOOCs might change the face of higher education. And he drew on the analogy of internet search engine development. And he observed something I think that's absolutely accurate, that the world is at the equivalent of the Alta Vista stage of development in MOOC technology. Do you remember Alta Vista? We're still a long way off from the Google stage. So higher education, however, is moving much, much faster than the skeptics ever thought universities could move, and some of our best faculty minds are at work at this. Penn and other eminent universities are demonstrating our abiding passion for improving teaching and learning through educational innovation. We at Penn hosted and I moderated the first international conference of Coursera. At Penn, we had 450 leaders from universities all over the world, and thousands of Penn faculty, students, and staff came to this conference to talk about and to hear about how we could improve teaching and learning. Truly, there's no better proof of the ability of universities and the passion of universities for teaching, learning, and research than our ability to integrate new technologies and make them transform for the better what we can do for our great students who then become our great alumni, than the way Penn and other elite but not elitist universities are moving forward with online learning at the same time as we're enriching the campus-based experience. And truly, there's no better proof of the power and value of a Penn and Wharton education than you, our alumni. You are the creative, world-class problem solvers. You embody the essential combination of putting broad-based knowledge into practice to maximize social impact. That philosophy and that practice of integrating knowledge to maximize social impact is a tribute to the genius of Penn's founder, Benjamin Franklin. And you are building Penn's legacy of bringing innovative thinking to the world. And that's what I call Pennovation. Can you say it? Pennovation. Let's hear it. Say it with me. Pennovation. And I'm planning to build a Pennovation Center at Penn next year, whose purpose, I'm serious, whose purpose is to better enable our great faculty and students to partner with industry and venture capital to bring the great knowledge, the integrated knowledge of Penn faculty and students into the world of commerce and industry to fuel economic and social progress. So stay tuned for the Pennovation Center. Penn is poised to do even more to maximize our social impact. We are the largest private employer in our city of Philadelphia, employing 32,000 people. And we are proud at Penn that we recently were named by Business Research Guide as the #1 private university to work for. Penn was named #1 because we offer excellent benefits, competitive pay, and they noted a collaborative environment with eminent faculty and talented staff who are at the forefront of their fields. While we don't measure Penn's success simply by rankings, this is excellent recognition of Penn's unflagging commitment to attracting the very best people and providing them with the very best place to work. At their best, universities like Penn increase access for hardworking, talented, and diverse students from all over the world. We enable them to do well by doing good. We educate our students by developing their understanding of the liberal arts and the professions so they may address our world's greatest challenges. At Penn, we lead the way in expanding access and achieving human understanding. We strive to be a beacon for what a truly great global university can offer to its students, to its society, and to its world. So I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by saying that to the extent that universities like Penn can do this and do it well, we can confidently say to our students, to our societies, and to our world that a university education, in the spirit of our founder, Ben Franklin, is a wise investment indeed. And the doors of knowledge are always open to those who seek it. Thank you so very, very much for your kind attention. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.